We're going to go ahead and work on class number 2, Solidworks assignment CW1. And so we'll go ahead and get started with that. So the first thing I'll do is click on the PDF. And basically, we're going to make a Solidworks model of this PDF. So this is our drawing, and we're going to use Solidworks to develop this part. So the first thing you do whenever you start a Solidworks model or part is you kind of come up with a plan. And we'll take this like as if a machinist was going to approach this. And so they would pick a piece of stock that was 7.5 by 3. Okay, that's 1 inch thick. And then they would cut away these features, that notch, and then this notch. So that's going to be our plan for this model. So I'm going to kind of go between this drawing and SolidWorks. So we'll kind of come back and forth. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to pick New. I'm going to pick Part and OK. So you should be in the Features menu, and you always start out with SolidWorks thinking about features. So our first feature, we're going to extrude. So I'm going to extrude, which means it's going to be kind of like a square. So I'll extrude that, and I'll select the plane that I want to draw on. That's what this is asking me here. So I could draw on any one of these planes, but I'm going to pick the front plane. Notice the screen changes a little bit. I have this origin here right in the center of the screen. So I'm going to draw a rectangle. So I'm going to go right over here to rectangle. I'm going to hover over the intersection of those two arrows. And what that yellow thing is telling me is that point is coincident. So I'll just select that. I'll drag my mouse out a little bit. And there it is. I have a square or a rectangle created. So remember, we did feature, we went sketch. The next part of the process is to dimension. So I selected smart dimension there. So according to my drawing here, I want to make a block that's 3 by 7.5 by 1. Okay, so again, smart dimension, I just select on the line with the left click. I click above with the left click again and type in 7.5. All right, so I've got that. So I'll put this dimension over here. This is the vertical dimension, and that is 3. So notice that the block resizes. If you make a mistake, no big deal. Just click on it and key in the new value, hit the check mark. But my model here seems to be good. So notice that my drawing says I'm supposed to make it 1 inch thick. Well, I don't know how to do that yet, or there's no depth to this. So don't worry, it's part of the process. So remember, we chose the feature, we sketched the feature, we dimensioned the feature. So we're going to exit the sketch and watch what happens. So I can exit from the right side or the left side, doesn't matter. I'll choose the right side. Here's where my depth comes in. So notice that my rectangle now has this 3-dimensional shape. So over here on the left, I could type in 1, or I could try to drag this arrow here. And notice that I could try to get to 1, and I may or may not get there. It's a lot easier just to go over here and type in 1. Okay? So SolidWorks is showing me this is what it's going to create. And the very final step here is to choose a check mark that's either on the left or on the right. So I'll again choose the right one. And if you look, there it is. I've got my model all set. So I'm going to use this button up at the top just to fit into the screen. So I've got that all set. So let's go back to our drawing. Where was that? And what we're going to do is now put in these two features here, these two notches that are in here. All right. So notice on my features menu, I've got a lot more options. The option we're going to choose is extruded cut. once again, it's telling me where do I want to do my sketching. And the difference between last time and this time is when I started with this initial feature, I chose datum planes. In this case, I'm going to choose the face of the part here. So I'm just going to, right in the middle, just select that. And depending on your screen, it may or may not go flat. I'm going to make sure mine does, so I'm going to do a Control-8, just so that I can look at this in two-dimensional. So yours may have done that. I'm not positive. So now I'll hit this Fit button again just to get it a little bit more centered. And now I want to sketch. So remember, I chose my feature. I want to sketch now. And I'm going to sketch two rectangles, one over here and one over here. Notice that I sketched them so that they lined up right on the top here of the block that we made before. And there's little green dots there show me that that top edge is coincident. It's lying on top there. So if I go look at my drawing, so that's kind of what I did here. So what do I need to do? I need to add dimensions. So this dimension here shows me like how deep it is. And then this dimension here shows me kind of how wide it is. And then this dimension shows me where it's located. So let's go ahead and add those dimensions. So I'll once again go to Smart Dimension. I'll just pick on the side of the block or this rectangle. It's always good practice not to put dimensions inside. So I'll put it outside here. That's 1. I'll put this at 1. So we'll do that over here as well. 1. And here again as 1. So that gets my size, but what it doesn't get is the location. So where are these two notches? And if I look back at the drawing, they're located 1.5 over from this left edge, and then this notch here is 1.5 from the first one. So how do I do that? I'm still in Smart Dimension here. I can measure from an existing geometry, so I'm going to select this line. Then I'm going to select the side of the new sketched square there, and then I'm going to click where the dimension goes. So this should be 1.5. Okay. Notice that the rectangle is black now. This one here is blue. The reason is this one's fully defined. So this one has size, meaning this dimension and this dimension are its size. This dimension here is a location from the side of the block. This you could actually say is a location as well because I'm locating from the top down. But what I need to do is add the dimension that goes in between the two slots. Remember, if we look at our drawing, this dimension here. So we'll go ahead and add that dimension. So from that side to that side, and then I'll go above the model, type in 1.5 again, and there it is. That square also turns black. So down at the bottom, it says fully defined as well. So this means my sketches are all good to go. So once again, I am now in the process. I've chose my feature, I've sketched my feature, I've dimensioned my feature, and now I want to exit sketch. So let's just choose it on the left side this time. And notice that I'm holding down my middle mouse button and I'm kind of spinning this. And this is what SolidWorks is doing. It's going to show me what the depth is of those two notches that I'm putting in there. So I could type in 1 and they would go through, but imagine that if this block ever changed thickness, these would be stuck at 1. So I'm going to change this to through all. So no matter how thick the block gets, the cuts will always go through. So I change that to through all, hit the check mark, and then I'm done. Okay? So that's my feature there. So it looks like we have one more feature to go, and that is this notch. Okay, so it looks like we're going to be 3 from the left side and then 1 inch from the bottom. So let's go ahead and do that. So it's a repeat of these notches right here. So I'm in the features menu. I go to extruded cut. I select the face. And again, in my case, I'm going to do Control 8 to get flat to the screen. I'm going to go to rectangle, and I'm going to draw in that shape. Okay, so same process, chose the feature, sketched it, dimension it. So what did we say? This is dimension from here over to here. So that was 3. And then we had a dimension from here up to here, and that was 1. Okay. Sketch turns black, fully defined. I'll just exit sketch. I'll just hold my middle mouse button down, just kind of spin it a bit. There's the depth. Okay, so once again, I'll just change this to through all, pick the check mark, and there you go. So there's our part. Okay, so after I do this, I'm going to want to make sure I save it. So hit save. Save it to your desktop. Call it CW1. In my case, there's already one there, so I'm just going to say replace it. Yes. And that's the file you're going to want to upload to Solidworks, the cw1.sld.prt. That's all.